Thank you so much for being here today, Jeremy.
Hello, thank you.
Can you explain exactly what GitGuardian is?
GitGuardian is solving an issue that is called secret sprawl, and we do this by automating secret detection in source code. So when we think about securing source code, we think about implementing a SAST solution. One example would be checkmarks. We think about implementing a solution that is detecting vulnerabilities in open source dependencies. One example would be Snyk. And we think about automating secret detection in source code. And just to give a bit of background about why this is important, as you know, secrets are anything that allows a programmatic access to a system. And because secrets are made to be used programmatically, too often they end up in source code. It's a growing issue because developers are handling increasing amounts of sensitive information in their daily job because the way that they develop software has radically changed. Applications are no longer standalone monoliths. They are made of hundreds, if not thousands, of building blocks. Examples of building blocks would be cloud infrastructures, servers, databases, microservices, all the SaaS platforms that you use. And in order to interconnect all these different systems, developers use secrets, of course. That's why more and more secrets end up in version control systems.
So I know that GitGuardian is scanning more than 2.5 million commits on GitHub each day, and you find more than 3,000 secrets a day. So can you tell me more about what these secrets are?
Just to make it very clear, the numbers that you are talking about, they come from our public monitoring product. So we have two products. One is scanning all GitHub public activity at scale in real time and detecting secrets exposed there. And the other product is tightly integrated with the software development lifecycle. So we integrate with your internal repositories and make sure that there aren't secrets exposed there as well. So if we focus on the public monitoring product, we've been scanning GitHub for over 3 years now at scale. So every single commit that was pushed publicly on the platform. We've been doing this in real time, so we've got extremely interesting numbers and facts to share. I can start with a number of secrets that we find per day leaked on the platform. So today we find over 5,000 such secrets leaked publicly. This is absolutely huge. And really counter-intuitive fact that we found is that most of the time secrets they are leaked on developers' personal public repositories. So these are repositories where companies have no visibility. They don't even know most of the time that these repositories exist. They don't know where to find them, who they belong to. And they have absolutely no authority to enforce any kind of security measure there as well. And so what we do is that we take these repositories and we include them in the corporate safeguarded perimeter, because we find a lot of corporate credentials exposed in these developers' personal repositories. And what this means is that even for companies that aren't doing open source, they might be exposed to the platform because their developers are doing open source. They are committing code and sometimes secrets, and in certain cases, corporate secrets.
So why are the secrets not in code, and what are the risks of that?
So the risk really comes from the fact that source code is an asset that is extremely leaky in nature. It's so leaky that you never know where your code is going to end up. In the worst case, it can end up on the public space. But even if your code stays in internal systems, secrets that are exposed in it still might be a huge threat, because your code is accessed by so many developers. It's made to be cloned on so many developers' personal or professional workstations. It's made to be deployed on servers. It's sometimes copy pasted in Slack or in internal wiki, etc. And so it takes just one of these places to be compromised, or just one developer account to be compromised, for all the secrets that transit there to be compromised as well.
So, how do companies do it currently, and are there issues with those current approaches?
So companies have code reviews in place, of course, so manual audits of the code base, and this poses some issues. First of all, it's highly manual, but then, and I don't want to enter into too many technical details here, but if as a developer I add a secret to the source code, and then I delete this secret, and then I push my code to the server, these additions and deletions, they will be invisible to the reviewer, because the reviewer is really concerned about the difference between the current version of source code and the version that is suggested by the developer. So additions and deletions that might occur and that aren't part of the net result of these operations aren't considered. And one takeaway of this would be that it's not only the actual version of source code that must be looked at, it's also all the Git history. And the moment a secret reaches the version control system, whether in the history or whether in the most recent version, the one that is going to be deployed, it must be considered compromised. Other approaches that companies have are secrets management solutions. They have vaults, such as HashiCorp vaults, for example, which are great systems. The thing is that these systems, they are not coercitive. So as a developer, I'm not constrained to use the vault. I can still just fetch a secret from the vault and then use it, and also hard code it in the code base. Plus, these vaults, they are deployed on restricted perimeter most of the time, because they are hard to deploy, hard to maintain operationally, so they don't contain all the secrets of all the company. And so you still need a complementary system such as GitGuardian to make sure that your source code is not used as secret storage.
Can you give us an example of this in recent events?
There are many examples in recent events, of course, but I will cite the Uber case. It's a bit old, but it's a textbook case, and it's a textbook case because it illustrates very well the duality uh, between the public side of the problem and the private or internal side of the issue, because there was not one Uber case, but Uber was compromised at least twice due to leaked credentials. The first time it was due to credentials leaked in a developer's personal repository on the GitHub platform. And so there were at least one credential giving access to a database containing some PII records. And in the second case, the credentials weren't exposed publicly. They were left in a private repository belonging to Uber. But this private repository was compromised. It was compromised due to poor password hygiene from one developer, plus lack of multi-factor authentication at the organization level. And so hackers were able to gain some initial access into this repository. They mined for credentials there. They found one at least, and were able to move laterally towards other systems, including a database containing huge numbers of PII records as well as in the first case.
Right, it's still a great example. So, does GitGuardian have a solution to the secret sprawl problem?
So in fact, we have two solutions to the problem. So the first one is the public monitoring, and the second one is the internal monitoring. These two products, they are really complementary. The public one is more for threat response teams typically, and it has this very special ability to be able to link developers contributing to public GitHub and companies, and to really look for corporate secrets or intellectual property leaked on developers' personal repositories most of the time. And the second product is more integrated into the DevOps pipeline. It's more for application security teams. And the moment that we integrate with your repositories, we are going to, first of all, scan all your Git history to make sure that you start on a clean basis. So we will scan all repositories, all commits from all branches for secrets. At this point, generally, with our customers, we will find thousands of secrets to remediate. And then we are going to scan every incremental change that is made in real time. So anytime a commit is pushed to the version control system, we'll scan this commit for secret. And in both cases, so both for the public product and for the internal product, when we find something, we alert both the developer responsible for the commit and the team that is using GitGuardian dashboard, so either threat response or application security most of the time. And we help developers, security teams, and also ops, DevOps teams remediate, investigate first, prioritize as well, and remediate. So anytime a secret reaches either the public space or the version control system, the internal VCS, it must be considered compromised and it must be revoked. So you need to make sure that you don't have downtime with some systems running in production. Of course, you must make sure that a new secret is distributed to developers, to servers, to applications as well. So remediation really is a teamwork, and we provide all these different teams with the tools that they need to achieve this.
Wow. So can you explain exactly how GitGuardian detects the secrets?
First of all, I like to stress out that the detection problem is really a challenge because it's all about finding the perfect balance between not raising too many alerts, including false alerts that can give rise to alarm fatigue, and not missing real credentials as well. So it's a complicated issue, and we have a dedicated team in place to do just this secret detection. We call it the secret team. And so we have learned that it's not just one algorithm that works, but more a combination of them. So of course we have some entropy statistics. We have also some regular expressions because certain credentials, but it's not the case for the majority of them. They all start with the same pattern. We have some pattern matching in the context of the presumed credential. So if the context is sensitive, this presumed credential, it might be a strong indicator that it's really a credential and that we should raise an alert. We also check the validity of certain credentials against the public APIs. And we have a feedback loop because we send thousands of alerts per day to our users, and our users have the option to give us feedback about whether or not this is a true alert or a false alert. And this helps us achieve really the best performance that you can find on the market today. But the best way to be convinced probably is to try our product.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jeremy. It was wonderful talking with you and learning more about GitGuardian, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Katie and Millennium, for having me. One final word, maybe. As you probably noticed with my French accent, so GitGuardian is a French startup, but we do most of our business in the United States already. 95% of our revenue come from there. And so we will be extremely happy to meet you during the Millennium event. See you soon.